Okay, in this video we're going to go ahead and paint, or rather stamp, our design down on the side of the shoe so we can use it as a guide which we can build our panels over. Alright, so the first thing I want to do is go ahead and load up the shell lesson. Start, or at least the one you have with the UV map attached to it, so it should look like this as far as the UV map goes. So once you've done that, let's jump over to the painting tab here, and let's go ahead and select a paintbrush, and then I'll select the Image Ink tool. Now Image Ink is the tool that uses an image to paint down or stamp down onto your object. So it's a very cool tool. And it does so by creating this little window pane with your image over the top of it, so you can transfer it down on top of your model. So what we need to do now is I'm going to hide the the airbrush parameters. If you see those, you can just roll that up and go to the thing of the smooth brush as well, and then go to the Image Ink parameters here, and first thing we want to do is we need to obviously grab an image that we want to transfer down onto the shoe. And if you don't see it immediately here, you can go up here to this little button here and go to Add Path and navigate over to where your images are at. Now you're not actually selecting the image, you're just selecting the directory where the images reside. So if it's in the images directory there, that's where it will be. So this will be Shoe Design V03, and it's a PNG, transparent PNG. And there it is. Now it populates this little thumbnail palette area here, and if you have multiple images, the multiple images will be showing up in here as well. So I'm just going to double click on this guy, and you can see it's an orthographic image. It's an orthographic view. So we need to change our viewport here to orthographic, right? So I'm just going to line that up. Now what I want to do is we're going to stamp this down. Normally that's not selected, so you'll probably want to select that. And I'm going to click one time in this viewport, and it's going to create a blank image for me. And give it a second. And there it is. We need to resize it and line it up with the side of the shoe model here. So I'm just going to grab this little guy right here and drag that out till I get to the size that I want it to be, and this little gizmo on top will rotate the window. Now you want to be careful that you don't select anywhere else other than these tools until you've lined it up, because once you start clicking in this window area, it's actually going to start painting the image down on your shoe, and you'll never be able to line it up again. So I'm going to get this lined up here. Now we can also try to do Fit View, and then just hold down the Option and Control key to move your model in relationship to the window. So you can either line up the window with the model or the model with the window, either one. Okay, so now when you do that Fit View, you're going to see that you lose the ability to move your image manually. So, all right. So let's just do it manually, I guess. All right. It may take a few minutes to line it up the way you want it, but I think that's a pretty good alignment right there. So I'm just going to make sure that Stamp is selected, and just make sure your color selector is set to white, because if it isn't, it will tint your image. So I'm going to go ahead and click in the viewport, give it a second, and there it is. All right, now I'm going to switch to the right side, and I'm going to flip horizontally, and you'll probably have to make some adjustments on your alignment as well here, but it's usually just moving left or right. Let's say right about there. I'm going to go ahead and stamp that down right there. Okay. So I'm going to hit Escape twice to drop the tool. I'm going to go to my perspective view, and there it is. and that's not too bad. Now you'll notice that especially around this little panel here, you'll get some stretching because that's due to the fact that we're using an orthographic image to project onto a 3D model. And so you will get some strangeness in certain areas, but not too bad. One final note is to be sure you save your image. You can do so from the File drop-down menu, because if you don't save the image, you will lose your file.